Hey there folks, it's Gus with POWERISA. I have an inside sales team for real estate with over 120 people, and I want you to avoid all the mistakes I've made over the last 6 years. So please hit subscribe and make sure you get every single one of my tips and tricks. We release a video every week. For today's video, we're talking about how do you train a new ISA for real estate. And I'm kind of assuming you already have one ready to go. If you're curious about what an ISA is, what they do, how you can hire one, how much to pay them, check out my previous videos below in the description. So let's jump right into it. You have a new ISA for real estate on your team. Now you've got to do the next step. You have to train them. At POWERISA, we run training classes for new ISAs every single week. Whether it's 2, 3, 4, or 10 new ISAs, we have a repeatable, proven process to get great people ready to go, usually within 30 days or less. So we definitely know what we're talking about, and I want to walk you through our process to get someone ready to go in the least amount of time possible. My first recommendation is you need to pay them during training. This might seem obvious to some of you, but a lot of folks kind of skip over this step. They expect ISAs, especially virtual ISAs living outside the US, to not get paid during a training period. We don't recommend this, folks. A couple reasons. Number one, you're not going to get the best quality candidates if you're not offering some compensation even during training. Or number two, the people that say yes are going to have one foot outside your company because they're looking for the next job. They're trying to see if something better pops up. They're not going to be focused in doing a great job and becoming a great ISA on your team. What we do to mitigate the cost and reduce some of that overhead is we offer a reduced salary for the first 30 days. This takes some of the edge off and also accounts for some people potentially leaving during training, so you're not greatly affected. As long as you're upfront and transparent with your candidates from the start, you should have zero issues. Let them know that this is a temporary measure while they get into the team and become a permanent member within 30 days. We always expect a 50% drop off. When we get 4 people into a training class, we expect probably 1 or 2 great ISAs to come out after the training process ends. Having a training salary helps reduce some of that risk and some of that cost. My next recommendation is you need to make enough time to train your new people. To get a great teammate, you've got to put some effort in as well as the candidate. Sometimes new employees get thrown into the job with little or no training, and then the owner is frustrated with the lack of results or the lack of effort from the new candidates. If you're not able to show new candidates that training and preparation are top priorities for your team, then you're not really going to get the effort you expect out of them either. You should be spending at least 3 to 4 hours per day for the first 2 or 3 weeks minimum with your candidates as you train them and they ramp up. Even if they're connecting with you virtually, you should find a way to leave that web call open and be in the same room with you. The ideal situation is they're alongside you as they're doing their job and you're doing your job, even if it's virtually. It makes a huge difference when the candidate feels that you're paying attention, you're available to resolve any issues, and you're always aware of what they're doing for your company. My next recommendation is you should have a formal onboarding process you put everyone through. What do I mean by that? It means you had a set of steps that you follow with every single new person that joins your team, especially in this ISA role. And it starts from the very first day. You should have a presentation that tells them about your company, about you. It should tell them what they're going to do for your team and how that activity and that role fits in the grander scheme of things. Who's going to be their direct supervisor? Who is going to be there to answer their questions? How and when will they get paid? All of these questions should be answered from day one with this presentation in mind. You should also have that first week at least planned out in advance. You should have days when you're teaching them the tools that they need to get the job done, whether that's setting up an email, a Slack account, dialer, CRM. You should walk them through each and every one of these tools in person. Do not leave this up to videos or the help documentation. Show them how you use the tool and the different scenarios you expect them to use when running through them in your company and their day-to-day activities. One of the most important factors when you're training in UISA is scripts. That's my next recommendation. It's really important for ISAs to start learning the scripts very quickly. But one big mistake that I see happen all the time is that teams tend to overwhelm their ISAs with too many scripts too quickly. One of the main goals of the whole training process is to give your ISA an opportunity to demonstrate their skills so they can earn the right to become a permanent member of their team once the training process is over. The best way to accomplish this is to make the scripting as simple as possible to accelerate that preparation and that feedback loop. At Power ISA, we only present a single script during the first week of training because we want them to master it quickly. The goal of getting them ramped up quickly with a script is to get them on the phone as fast as possible. This is where the real learning is going to happen. Giving them a simple script is going to allow them to focus on objection handlers, accelerate their role play, and get started right away. And that brings us to my next recommendation, which is you've got to get new ISAs on the phone right away. I cannot stress how important this is, folks. I see a lot of folks spend days and days and days endlessly role-playing new scripts, trying to get every single detail right before they allow ISAs to get on the phone. I believe that's the wrong strategy. You need to have them understand the script well enough, practice it a few times, but really complete that practice and training with real people on the phone. Something happens when people actually execute the script with an actual client that really changes things. Someone can get unbelievably skilled at role-playing a script in a controlled environment, in a safe environment, but once they get on the phone, their learning might even get reset. Do not spend days and days and days role-playing the same script. Role-play for a couple of days and get them on the phone right away. You will accelerate the learning process immensely. This is also related to calling lists. You have to have enough numbers for them to call and practice this script right away. My recommendation is never give them high converting leads. Do not give new people your most valuable leads, right? You want to give them leads that are not the easiest, but they can respond and they have an opportunity to at least have a conversation with. We recommend using old internet leads or CIRCLE prospecting lists. These are some of the best to get new people practicing, ramping up, and improving ASAP. And this brings us to my final recommendation of this process, and probably the most important one, and that is call review. That's it, folks. Reviewing the calls that your ISA makes is the single most important, most effective activity you can do to get a great ISA for real estate. And this step brings everything together. It brings in together the practicing the script, knowing what a good ISA sounds like, having that collateral ready to go and understood, getting your ISAs on the phone right away so you can start a process that we call the feedback loop process. It's very simple. You have your ISA make calls because you taught them a new script. They make the calls, you record them, and then later you sit down with your ISA and you listen to those calls. They're not going to get a bunch of conversions. If they have 0 conversions, listen to the longest call they have that didn't convert. That's going to be unbelievably useful. The single best way we've discovered to get an ISA ramped up quickly, correcting any mistakes, and being ready for showtime is to show them their own calls, tell them what they did correct, tell them what they did incorrectly, and then do it again the next day and see is there any improvement. Not only are you looking for improvement on the script and more conversions, you're actually seeing and finding out, does your ISA take feedback well? Is your ISA coachable? Do they like to learn new things? These are unbelievably important attributes that we found to be much more important than anything else about them. It doesn't matter if they're terrible on the phone the first day. Everyone's terrible at first. But the people that are coachable and are teachable are the ones that are going to make progress and are going to outperform even folks that have a lot of experience or natural talent. That's it, folks. That's what we have. I hope this has been valuable for you. And if you're interested in having Power ISA help train, manage, or even recruit an ISA for your team, please click on the links below. We can actually help you with your own in-house ISA to implement this process, the onboarding, training, and even call review and management feedback loop process. If you want more information, check it out. Please subscribe if you think this video is valuable. We'll be releasing new ones every single week. Have a good one.